On Wednesday, 21 May at the White House, US President Donald Trump blindsided President Cyril Ramaphosa, presenting printouts and videos to push debunked claims about the persecution of white farmers in South Africa. Hi, I'm Victoria Regan, and I'm a journalist at Daily Maverick. Ramaphosa had hoped that this meeting with Trump would reset South Africa-US relations with a bold new trade proposal, but instead the Oval Office talks took a sharp turn, dominated by Trump's insistence on false claims of land grabs and the so-called genocide of white farmers. Here's what you need to know. It all started off cordial. Ramaphosa arrived at the White House shaking hands with Trump in what was meant to be a diplomatic reset, with a heavyweight delegation including ministers, billionaire Johan Rupert, and even golfing legends Ernie Els and Retief Gunsen. South Africa was making a statement. The two leaders exchanged small talk about golf and touched on foreign policy issues including the Middle East and Ukraine. Trump even said,
he called, I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you.
But then things took a turn. Dimming the lights in the Oval Office, Trump played a video of EFF leader Julius Malema singing Kill the Word in front of the world's media.
Excuse me, turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do, with or without you.
Ramaphosa pushed back on Trump's false claims about white farmers, pointing out that crime in South Africa affects everyone, especially black South Africans. He even asked the US for tech support to help fight crime. Trump remained unconvinced. Here's something you need to know about that field of white crosses Trump showed in his video. It's not a graveyard. During the meeting, Trump claimed the video he played showed the, quote, burial sites of over 1,000, unquote, white farmers in South Africa. But a New York Times investigation found that the footage actually depicted a memorial procession held on 5 September 2020 near Newcastle in KwaZulu-Natal. The protest was simply symbolic. There was no indication that there was a direct correlation between each cross and an actual murdered farmer. Statistics around farm-related murders in South Africa are frequently contested and often politicized. Lobby groups claim that the government's figures are wrong, and the crimes are difficult to categorize because many crimes on farms do not involve farmers per se. As my colleague Rebecca Davis reported on Daily Maverick, another symbolic memorial to farm murders, the Witkruis or Plaasmoorde Monument along the N1 between Mokopane and Polokwane, also features white crosses. Importantly, however, those crosses tally over 2 decades worth of alleged farm murders, amounting to about 3,000. By comparison, the number of people murdered nationally in just one recent year, April 2022 to March 2023, was 27,000, making the point, as members of Ramaphosa's delegation attempted to do on Wednesday, that South Africa has a more general and wider epidemic of crime. Back to the meeting. After that tense public engagement, Ramaphosa says they moved to the cabinet room for a more in-depth discussion with Trump and senior US officials. According to Ramaphosa, the conversation covered trade, investment, AGOA, and yes, golf. He also said that some of the big issues many thought would sour the talks, like South Africa's case at the International Court of Justice, didn't actually come up. Instead, Trump's focus, he said, was mainly on the safety of people in South Africa. Ramaphosa also pointed to what he called a pullback by the US from G20 discussions. That comment follows a Washington Post report last week that the White House National Security Council had instructed US agencies to stop working on South Africa's G20 agenda. Ramaphosa confirmed it was Trump's idea to invite golf legends Els and Gunsen. As for whether his team was fully prepared, Ramaphosa admitted some delegates had only just arrived and briefing time was tight. But, he said, we presented our country and we represented it well. These golfers are patriotic South Africans. For more on how the story unfolds, follow Daily Maverick.